Yes!
How does he do that?
Hello and welcome to the Southern Hemisphere. To be more specific, Aotearoa, New Zealand is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. And we are in Rotorua in the central North Island for the third and final stop of the Crankworx World Tour. We have a packed schedule this weekend. We're kicking off with Pump Track and it promises to be very, very tasty. Now, I'm joined in today's proceedings by a man who has an encyclopedic knowledge of mountain biking. He also has a punishing knowledge of geography. It is Mr. Tom Bradshaw. Tom, pleasure to have you here with us.
Kia ora, Ed. It's great to be here with you and welcome everyone to Rotorua, New Zealand. First punishing geography fact, centre of the North Island.
There you go. I told you, I warned you in advance. Let's get stuck into it here though. Rotorua is undisputedly one of the epicentres of mountain biking in New Zealand. Why?
Oh, it's just the access to the forest, Ed. We've had Crankworx coming here since 2015, but the forest has been developing for years, and it's a fantastic place to ride, and I think we could keep you entertained for a few weeks of riding in the forest across the other side of town there as well.
Yeah, the whatever, like it's grown with the investment in mountain biking here. The community have got behind it, the tribes have got behind it, and you can look at the trail map and it kind of looks, we called it yesterday, like a map of brain synapses. It's just incredible, isn't it?
Exactly, there's spaghetti going everywhere in there, but what that's been is years of development from Rotorua Trails Trust and the Mountain Bike Club, and it's got a range of trails.
Now, if you look at that, you can see a big blue P at the top of it that shows the parking, but this sounds punishing geography, chat, but down on this side, it's one of the most beautiful areas of the forest, and they've just put a new car park in there that offers incredible access.
Yeah, car park, chat, Ed, exactly, but what it does, it gives you access to the top of the forest really close, as well as the native forest up there too. It's where the beautiful trails are.
And this sounds ridiculous, but if you've never been to New Zealand, native bush in New Zealand, the flora here is insane, isn't it?
Exactly, Ed, especially when it's moist, it is unreal. Yeah, there's something about it, and also once you get to the cornflakes as well, is what we call it when the leaves are on the ground there. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's take a look at this new car park. We've been chatting about it enough.
So the Te Pūtake Ottawa car park has been in development with Tūhaurangi and Council for the last year. Tūhaurangi wants the people to prepare themselves and be able to take their best step into the industry, as well as developing mountain biking opportunities for more people like Tūhoto. The big opportunity we have in developing this car park and this new step into the industry is pretty much enabling our people to ride, letting them know that they own these tracks, letting them know that they can ride these tracks, and giving them the best platform to be able to take it as far as they can. We're innovators by nature, so who knows what can happen at the car park, from live concerts to pods in the forest to gondolas going up to the tracks. So there's 5 art pieces all up, all of these different mediums, but portraying ancestors that lived in the area. We also think that there's capability in storytelling and app development, so that stories can be heard that are native to the track. We just want to develop the car park so that it becomes the hot spot for mountain biking. We want to have the best opportunity to provide an experience that's like no other, and ultimately create a platform for our iwi to be the best riders that they can be.
Well, that was certainly showcased yesterday when we saw Jenna Hastings and Lewis Hamilton and Billy Meaclem, all New Zealanders and 2 Rotorua locals there, taking titles here.
Oh, it's awesome to see, and I think it just pays testament to how easy it is to access the forest, and just with more of them, we heard a gondola possibly going in as well, so it's exciting.
Okay, Rotorua developing at speed, but back to the event here itself, and we had Full schedule yesterday. We saw speed and style in the morning, Billy Meaclem taking out Thomas Lemoyne. Then we saw downhill in the afternoon, Jenna Hastings and Lewis Hamilton. We talked about that. But then in the evening, we saw the whip off, and this was pretty special, Tom.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. Yeah, I mean, and it's awesome to see the rain came through after the downhill, but it cleared out for the whip off in the evening, and I think everyone was pretty excited to lay it down after the big race.
Yeah, it's one of those ones, it's all about flair. There's no clock on it, and this was pretty special. Check out the highlights.
Makes a good whip. I think actually first of all is the style that you throw it out with. Second of all is how sideways you get it. And then third is how high or just the X factor.
Matt Gregg is an absolute weapon on a bike, isn't he? That whip is something to behold.
Yeah, you've seen a video of that guy in Monaco going to the moon. If you haven't seen that, check that out after this.
Yeah, he's like Indiana Jones. He's definitely got a handle on the whip. Right, today it's all about pump track, though. Let's take a look at the course. It's got even more vicious. I think on the Crankworx Tour, this is one of the most impressive and challenging courses.
Yeah, it's super technical right out of the gate. You've got that spine, which essentially is just a wall right in front of the riders. And there's going to be a challenge to get over that with speed on the way on the downside to then get into the actual pump track that we know from the other rounds.
And how does it work? Like, what's the format? Talk us through it.
So we've already had the qualifications. So riders have already put their times down. And now we're going to see the rounds of 8 racing both at the same time. And they're going to do a run on either side of the course. There's the left and the right side. And the fastest time out of the two of them is going to take it and move on to the next round.
Okay, this is the cut out and keep guide if you need to catch up.
What's up, everybody?
Welcome to the Crankworx World Tour.
Crankworx, we're back on.
If you're new to pump track racing on Crankworx World Tour, here's the deal. First off, no pedaling and no chain.
This is mountain biking, so 26-inch wheels is the minimum.
After the time trial to determine seeding, it's time for the head-to-head race in action. You got 2 runs, 2 different courses. Fastest combined time advances to the next round.
Under the lights and under the pressure. Let's do this.
Right, let's take a look at the women's bracket because this starts to get very, very interesting. You can see the tickies here that overlook that spine at the start of the course. They're very menacing. We had qualification, then a round of 16, and that's left us with these riders in the round of 8. And already, the thing that should stand out to you, no Via Verbeek.
Exactly, and that's right off the gate. We're going to see Keelani Hines versus Harriet Burbage-Smith. Now, Harriet knocked out Via in the round of 16.
The woman gunning for Queen of Crankworx and the woman in second place. So Harriet Burbage-Smith has opened up a bit of a gap there, but she's found herself up against the stone-cold favourite in Keelani Hines.
Yeah, exactly. And this right out is going to be a replay of the final of the pump track in BC.
Yeah, we've got an all New Zealand second bracket there. Shania Rawson and Charlie Lester Ross on. This is the points that are up for grabs in the speed and style dual slalom and pump track for the men and the women. The interesting part of this is that Via Verbeek, because of the seeding, she won't get into the top 10. So she's not going to get any points, which means that for Keelani Hines and for Harriet Burbage-Smith, you look at these, they could reel it in.
Yeah, exactly. With Via out, it opens up a big chance for them to get closer, but also they've got to compete for that second spot between Keilani and Harriet, and that's going to come up right away.
Yeah, it might be 20 grand for the Queen, but 10 grand for second place is nothing to be laughed at.
It is not bad, Ed. It is not bad at all.
Okay, let's take a look at the standings of the Queen. Oh no, we've got racers getting up onto the stand now.
Yeah, we're right into it.
Oh, fantastic.
And as we said, this is going to be good because this is going to be the final, a replay of the final from Silver Star this year, just a month ago.
Yeah. You look at Keilani Hines, closest to the camera here. Her form in the last couple of events is just blistering. She took first in pump and dual slalom in Silver Star. Honed her craft on a BMX, kind of 8 to 17, and then crossed over onto the big bike, and she is dominating, isn't she?
Yeah, exactly. She's so good at this event. But then Harriet on the other side has just gone from strength to strength this year, starting with formation and now on the little bikes on the pump track.
I talked about this with Ed Masters yesterday, how much the Red Bull helmet has actually given her. It's like a real show of confidence. You get that backing, and she's going for, yeah, as you said, she's really growing into it.
Yeah, this is going to be good, Ed.
That really unique technique out of the start gate from Harriet Burbage-Smith, just bunny hopping.
Yeah, and Keilani's got a little bit of a gap on her with a gap into that first right-hand corner.
Harriet's still very much in contact, though.
Exactly, and Keilani takes it.
Now, straight away, okay, there's 0.283 difference between the two there, but you were down on the ground, you did the old gladiator, picking up the dirt, sniffing it, didn't you? And you reckon there's a difference between the two tracks, potentially?
Yeah, well, took that dirt and threw it up in the air, Ed, and it was blowing. It's really windy here. You can't quite see that on screen right now, but what that is doing is affecting that right-hand side of the track, the rider's right.
So exactly what we're seeing here, Keilani's going into the wind there. You think there's a bit of a headwind that's...
Yeah, exactly, and it's just going to throw them off a little bit, so there might be a bit of... She's going to be a little slower on that way up the hill there, but she did well. She's 0.2 up.
Yeah, it might sound ridiculous, but when you're dealing in tenths of a second, hundredths of a second, we had thousandths of a second yesterday, it all matters. And next up, all New Zealand battle, Shania Rawson, the top seed out of qualifying in this one, but Charlie Lester Rosson, part-time firefighter, can she make a difference?
Yeah. Good hop from Shania out of there. There's some techniques coming in there.
Shania, another one of those BMX racers who's got on the big bike, had a great result yesterday in the downhill as well.
Yeah, second in the downhill yesterday, and Shania had the gap out of the spine there. She's going to hold it.
She's got a bike length.
Oh, that's tight.
Charlie reeled that in the last couple of pumps.
She did, even on that slower part of the track, we think.
Just holding the lower back there. Bit of a strain.
Yeah, well, they're cranking so hard out of the start there, Ed. And what we don't notice and think about sometimes is that they don't have a chain on.
It's phenomenal, isn't it? The amount of speed they can generate this quickly. Now, yesterday's downhill winner in the women's, Jenna Hastings, goes up against one of the finest BMX racers turned mountain bikers in Jessie Smith. Hastings, the youngest competitor here in Rotorua.
Yeah, 17 years old, off the victory of the downhill yesterday. The crowd's going to be cheering for both of them.
Great technique over the spine as well. Very low, very fast.
Oh, and Jenna's got the gap. Really coming in well. She came in a bit high in that right-hand berm there, but that's a solid gap out. 0.88, Ed.
Great start there for Jenna Hastings up against Jessie Smith. Very, very quick. If you're just joining us, this is the Rockshox Rotorua Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo7. We're starting in the women's bracket of 8.
Yeah, and this pump track's great, Ed. It's just rapid fire. We now got the fourth bracket here already in the gate, and this is the big hitters here.
One of the legends of mountain biking and BMX, Caroline Buchanan. Look at those results in pump track. You may look at the years and think 2017, 2018, that's a while ago. Well, she took a bit of time off to try and go to Tokyo as not a racing BMXer, as a freestyle BMXer. The moment that dream finished, you said earlier, she called out of that and then got an invite to Audi 9s.
Yeah, we saw her out her 9s, and she was throwing that first backflip, first front flip to dirt. Great snap out of the gate already for Caroline.
But now we're going to see that racing pedigree at work. Look at that,
Yeah.
incredibly fast.
Again, yeah, doubling, whereas Danielle was pumping. That's a huge, huge victory from Caroline there.
So the number 2 seed making short work of Danielle Beecroft in the first race. It is run over 2 races though, because each side of the track is not completely identical, so you need to race both sides.
There we go, already quick push from Caroline there. That's just got to be the BMX background.
Talk us through the start, Tom. How important is it?
Well, it's really important, Ed. Obviously, like, they're not braking around this course, so any advantage you get out of the gate is going to be carried all the way through, and you can see that there from Caroline. But what you don't notice with the chain off is that it's really hard to actually balance in the gate there. And this is the only event where they don't have the chain on.
There's talk that people kind of chuck inner tubes in the crankcase just to try and block up the pedals and give you a bit of friction there to stop them just running. But a lot of people using a lot of different techniques as we get onto the men's side of the draw here now. First race.
First race, and this is going to be exciting, Ed. Billy Meaclem, he's such a nice rider to watch, as well as Jaden Fleming.
Well, we can see here on the women's bracket the results. Confirmation, we got Hines just 3/10 ahead of Harriet Burbage-Smith. Shania Rawson took the win by a hair's breadth. Only 700th there from Charlie Lester-Rosson. Hastings and Smith, fascinating battle. Smith with all of the pedigree on the pump track, but Hastings, the downhill racer, showing her all-round ability. That is a phenomenal result there, but no surprises from Caroline Buchanan.
No, that was pure class. It's exciting to see her here, and let's see how much she can do when they flip it around and she moves to the other side of the track.
Okay, well, as we talked about, this is pretty like yesterday we finished up with downhill. This is at the opposite end of the spectrum, and Crankworx does cover every type of mountain bike riding here. And pump track in itself is very, very specialised, so you're using very different equipment. And one of the first things the riders look at are their tyres. So we're going to go into the Maxxis tyre check now. We've got Bas van Steenbergen, Caroline Buchanan checking out their tyres.
Hey, I'm Bas van Steenbergen.
Hi, I'm Keelani Hines.
Hey, I'm Caroline Buchanan, and this is my Maxxis tyre check for the pump track category. In the front, I rock the 2.2 Icon, and in the rear, the 2.1 Pace. 60 in the front, 60 in the rear. I like to keep it consistent, fast rolling. The reason I run a bit of a beefier tyre in the front is purely for that security in the turns and making sure I can rip through them.
For pump track, I've got an Icon on the front. I usually run a DTH, but it's a little wet here in Rotorua, so I figured a little bit more grip for the corners is needed. And then keep the DTH in the rear. Keep it fast.
In the front, we got the Pace at 2.1, and then in the back, we got the DTH at 2.15, and that's just a super fast rolling tire. 65 PSI in the back and 55 in the front. For pump track, it's pretty standard to have like really fast rolling tires and really high PSI. You just want to carry as much speed as possible. Those are usually the keys. It's a pretty fast setup, and I think it'll be good.
Bas van Steenbergen there. He's rocking some really hard tyres, but it feels like he's locked up the King title, hasn't he? I mean, his performances in Innsbruck and then in British Columbia have sewn this up for him.
Yeah, he had such a strong showing in BC where he lives, and he's all around. I mean, he's racing the downhill yesterday, and then he's going to be really impressive today on this pump track course. This is one of his best events.
Well, that classic kind of worlds colliding where downhill meets slope style in speed and style, he still managed a very strong result in that, and he wasn't throwing down the tricks, but he's like you say, he's just a perfect all-rounder.
Yeah, no, and it takes a lot to keep going through this week and coming back to back to back and across all these stops, so yeah, he's done pretty well.
It'll be interesting to see if the fatigue shows. He's up against one of the greatest New Zealand has in Michael Bias, a very, very talented BMX racer, only just missed out on Tokyo. But got some other really good ones in there. You've got Thomas Lemoyne, the speed and style specialist, going up against Lewis Hamilton, yesterday's downhill winner. That'll be fascinating.
Exactly, and right out of the gate here, we've got Billy Meaclem, who's always great to watch on the bike, and Jaden Fleming, who I don't know if you saw in qualification of speed and style yesterday, threw a double backflip. on the first jump.
He's out of control, and this kid, Jaden Fleming, has got absolutely everything. He's 22 years old, but he's raced velodrome track, he's raced BMX, but he's got double backflips in his arsenal as well.
You can see Billy Style already over the spine, scrubbing it well. Yep.
We've got Jaden on the pink, blue bike in the camera here. Billy
Very quick from Billy Meaclem.
Yeah, he's going super well. 0.36 already in.
Wow, and Jaden Fleming is no slouch. He has a lot of power, he has a great technique, and yet Billy Meaclem, that beautiful touch, the lightness of touch he has on the bike has really worked for him.
Yeah, he makes it look so easy, and he's coming. Yeah, and he's coming out, you see that corner, that right-hand corner, he's keeping it really even around. He's not coming in too high, he's not coming in too low. Excellent balance, and it fired him out on this back straight really well.
Is the key to have a really steady head, to keep the head really stable and let the body and the legs do all of the work?
Yeah, exactly. It comes down to your core as well. See, Billy's really well, he over-exaggerates his elbows, and it's really nice to watch, just letting the bike move around and keep everything centered in.
Okay, we talked about this one before. Thomas Lemoyne, the French Renaissance rider, can literally put him on two wheels and he'll be competitive. Going up against Lewis Hamilton, local boy, who absolutely smashed the downhill yesterday.
Yeah, this is going to be exciting. Lewis is so dialed. He just is so organised with what he's going to do. So coming up against the king of Crankworx in previous years, this is going to be excellent.
Watch the gate. No strangers in the pump track racing.
Lemoyne very, very sharp. You saw that laser focus in his eyes.
Yeah, and he's already pulling away. A nice manual from Lemoyne there.
Lewis gets some momentum going.
But Lewis is bringing it back a little bit. Here comes Lemoyne on that back straight.
Absolutely devastating. The mountain bike equivalent of the 110-metre hurdles, and Lemoyne was away there, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Just exploding out. It's all over so quick, but it's really tiring.
Unbelievable. And we're seeing lots of different techniques out of the start gate as well, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly. In Lemoyne there, you could see him had a nice pre-hop just as that gate dropped there, and then he got a really powerful pump off the spine. That really was where he won it.
So almost leaning back into the brake and then throwing yourself forward as the gate drops.
Yeah, and then he's actually pulling forward as that gate drops. So they're both running clip pedals to help with that. Yeah, here we go. Bas van Steenbergen against the New Zealand national BMX champion.
Okay, let's see how Baz did in British Columbia. Such a strong rider. Baz, closest to the camera here.
Yeah, and he's got a unique start as well, Ed, where he'll actually compress the fork to then give him a good jump out of the gate. Look out for that. Especially on the
totally called that one wrong. Baz obviously in the orange clothes and the orange helmet. I'm used to seeing him in the really pared down gear. I'd forgotten that he was...
Well, he's so busy this weekend that he's been costume changing left, right and centre for all these events.
Did you notice yesterday that he and Tom Eistedt actually had a full twin setup in speed and style? They were wearing the same helmet, same vest. So.
Here we go. Look good, feel good, I think. Let's see what the New Zealand national BMX champ can take on to the mountain bike side.
Yeah, this is going to be fascinating. Van Steenbergen's got his work cut out here.
Michael bobbled a little on that gate drop. Good scrubs
neck and neck over the spine.
Yeah, this is tight.
As they come into that first turn.
Oh, lovely tap down manual from Michael Byers. Front wheels level. Byers has just got it, I think.
0.03 there to Byers.
35 thousandths of a second.
That's about as tight.
Those two.
That's about as tight as it gets, Ed.
I think it's, we've measured this, it's 30,000, like 300ths of a second is the blink of an eye, so just over a blink of an eye.
Let's have a look, because you see Michael bobbled there out of the gate and he pulled it back, which is really impressive.
Because Michael especially is out of his element here without a chain, so he's definitely struggling not having that tension against the gate.
Like you think you can balance a little bit with that chain tension there, and when he's on the BMX bike, he's cranking out of the gate usually.
There's two ways to look at this, that the national BMX champion, guy who nearly made the Olympics at BMX, has done really well, or a mountain biker has just gone toe-to-toe with an Olympic standard athlete. And Baz also got 25th yesterday in downhill, and I think a third in
He's been a busy boy, like you said, the fatigue coming through possibly. Here we go, the local Rotorua matchup. This is great, Ed.
Oh, this is the battle of the future. This is two of the brightest rising stars in New Zealand mountain biking. Ricky Pene going up against Lockie Stevens.
Hojo got a better jump on him, so Lockie's going to be getting out after his mate here.
And Toto wants redemption after getting cheated in the rain yesterday on the downhill.
Exactly. Tohoto had arguably one of the amazing run in the rain came down.
Oh, it was a torrential downpour, and he was only 4 seconds off the pace.
Yeah.
When everyone else had had either a dry run or completely given up.
Yeah, you can just hear Lockie there saying he muffed the gate there. But 0.6 to Tohoto.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what it looks like, confirmation of those first race results. They're going to switch tracks for the second run, but Meaclem has got a little bit of distance on Fleming there, and then half a second for Lemoyne. Very, very tight between Bias and Van Steenbergen. That's going to be a magical matchup. Second time out, plenty of tension, and then Pene and Stevens McNabb. I've got to say Pene's going that one, I think.
Yeah, battle of the downhill juniors there. They're fantastic. Stephen McNabb's had a great junior downhill year on the World Cup. And Tohoto stepping up in his first year elite, 14th at the World Champs there.
Well, this isn't the only event we've got in New Zealand this summer. We've also got the Summer Series, which is heading to the South Island. 4 events. We're going to be in Alexandra, we'll be in Queenstown, Cadrona and Glendu Bay. And it's a chance for some of New Zealand's best riders to go up against their heroes, both the best national riders and international riders. One man who will be there is the king of Crankworx, Bas van Steenbergen. Let's hear from him and see what he makes of this series.
Yeah, for the Summer Series, it's hard to say what I'm looking forward to the most. Like, I've been to Queenstown a bunch and I know how good that is, so I'm obviously looking forward to that a lot. But I'm also really looking forward to seeing all the other places. Like, I've heard that Alexandria is beautiful and I've never been there. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to the whole thing. It'll be so fun.
It's a brand new zone opening up just outside Alexandria, and the first event in that zone will be a downhill, so that's one to look forward to. Second races though of the women's Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo7. Rockshox in the driving seat. Look at this. We've got Hines versus Burbage Smith. That is one to look forward to. That all New Zealand bracket as well. Charlie Lester-Rosson and Shania Rawson. And then Hastings, I've got to say, if I take my unbiased hat on, I'd love to see Jenna Hastings do well again here today. And then Caroline Buchanan, a second and a half ahead of Danielle Beecroft. It looks like the number 2 seed at the bottom of the draw there is going to make short work of the round of 8. But back in the start gate, the Tickies overlooking the spine. Looking very formidable.
Yeah,
do you think that this can Harriet Burbage-Smith reel this in?
I think she can, and this is going to be huge. Remember, for the Crankworx overall title for the women here, this is what it's going to come down to possibly. Good start from Haz there. They're dead equal off the spine head. Both equal rhythms across this first straight.
Very, very even.
Oh, Kealani's pulling away.
And
great ride from Hines.
Yeah, the talent showed there just at the end. It was almost, it looked like fatigue from Harriet Burbage-Smith.
Yeah, it was just in that last berm, just didn't quite come out fast enough, and Hines pulled away happily.
And I wonder if that's just the frequency of events that we're seeing here. Like, it was a great start, but potentially a little bit of fatigue for Harriet. Just making a tiny mistake, because she had a full pull in speed and style yesterday to take the win there, and then downhill in the afternoon. Kealani only did the downhill.
There we go, and you can see her actually go for a pedal stroke out of that right-hand quarter. It just threw off a little bit as well.
Ghost stroke.
Yeah, it's tricky without the chain.
So Kealani Hines currently sat in 4th place behind Harriet Burbage-Smith and Casey Brown in the Queen title, making it through to the semi-finals.
Here we go, back to the other local battle here. This is tied at 0.07 as well.
Oh, there's nothing in this, and potentially, if your intel is right, Tom, Shania Rawson on the slower side of the course.
Yeah, this could be.
Ready, watch the gate.
Good snap from Shania.
She timed that perfectly, didn't she?
So Shania in the black here. She's wanting to move on through the race.
So going monochrome, black helmet, white gloves.
She's pulling away on that side of the track there.
Charlie Lester-Ross, a valiant effort, but it's Shania Rawson who crosses the line first in both of those matchups and will advance to the semi-final.
Yeah, great work, Shania, through 0.37. That's not far back from Charlie, though.
Charlie gave a really good account of herself. And considering Shania's got that history of BMX racing, she knows how to handle a hardtail. She knows how to generate speed on terrain. Now, back in, looking at Jenna Hastings and Jessie Smith. Two very different types of rider here, but it went against the form guide in the first race. Jenna Hastings, the downhiller, winning yesterday, taking out some of her heroes, just 17 years old, going up against Jessie Smith.
Yeah, Jenna's got a good start already.
Oh, wait a second. Far from over, Jessie Smith back into this.
Here comes Jenna bringing it back.
Jenna Hastings through with almost a second to spare ahead of Jessie Smith.
Outstanding stuff from Hastings there. They were even on that first straight, and she just hauled it into that left-hand move.
We've talked a lot this weekend across all the disciplines about the importance of confidence, how role that has to play in performance, and it feels like Jenna Hastings is in that purple patch at the moment.
Oh, she's just going from strength to strength, and it's not just on the small bikes, on the big bikes. She won a big enduro a couple of weeks ago down in Christchurch against New Zealand pros in the enduro bike, so yeah, it's awesome to see.
Well, if you're loving watching Crankworx, then you can head over to crankworx.com and you'll find everything you need in there. There's the schedule, there's all of the details about the summer series that you just saw. There's all the information about your favourite riders, the race for the King and Queen. But if you head over to the top right-hand side of the menu, you'll find the shop and check out the merch. Look at these beasts. Never have you seen more beautiful clothes that you can get really muddy while you're riding. I'm a big fan of that Boneyard bowl. You can eat out of it and then you can wear it on your head.
Give it to the pup at the same time.
Exactly. Right, back into the racing.
Here we go. Yeah, Danny Bearcroft's got a lot to work on, but she knows what she's doing too.
Oh, she 100% does, but she's up against one of the greatest ever to do it in Caroline Buchanan. And Buchanan's just had, she went down hard yesterday in speed and style, over-rotating that backflip, but she's had a smile filled with mischief on her face this week.
Already out the gate, Buchanan's got a great pump even before the spine.
Gathering heaps of speed, good momentum through the turns there.
Look at that.
It's looking in favour.
Make it look easy. Beecroft not far behind there, but
Buchanan just took that right-hand boom so low and was able to pump through it really, really well.
She's going to need elbow pads if she gets any lower, isn't she? She's nearly rubbing the dirt. She's getting so horizontal in those turns.
And Buchanan advances in the battle of the Aussies.
So, opposite end of the draw, and the number 1 seed, Keilani Hines, has gone through, and the number 2 seed, Caroline Buchanan, has gone through. Interesting yesterday, yeah, Buchanan looked like she might have injured herself on the backflip, but I know that Nikolai Rogatkin went and spoke to her and said it was just her pride that was hurt.
Oh, that was a huge crash in the speed and style yesterday. She really winded herself. It looked bad, but she's a absolute professional, and look at her just coming through so strong here. Look at those eyes, looking where you want to go.
Just charging
That
through.
is a beautiful shot of the technique there.
Just like Thomas Lemoyne, she's got that focus. So we can head down to the finish area now where we've got Caroline on the headset. Caroline, you made that look deceptively easy.
Well, you know, it's just nice to be back on tour and doing what I love, and yesterday was pretty crazy for a first speed and style experience. So yeah, playing it cool today and just enjoying myself.
Great work, Caroline. Is there any insight you can give to left, right side of the track? How is each side playing up?
So they're pretty consistent all the way through. I'd say the deep turn here at the back is probably the only tricky one on the right side. It's catching a few people out, but besides that, they've done a really good job of the course. It's really even, super fast. The weather's held out, so it's race day.
Awesome, thank you so much. Good luck in the semi-finals.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, let's take a look at the bracket and see how they're matching up now for the semis. We've got Keilani Hines going up against Shania Rawson. Shania, a disruptor in her own way in the downhill yesterday. Very, very strong performance from her. And then we've got Jenna Hastings versus Caroline Buchanan. That is the veteran versus the rookie. A fantastic matchup on that side of the draw as well.
Yeah, that's going to be an awesome draw, Ed. I mean, Jenna, as you said, just coming off such a good streak, and let's see what her raw young talent can do against the seasoned pro.
Okay, well, before we get stuck into the men's side, we're just going to take a little look at a Q&A that Torpedo7 put together. This one's really, really nice.
I would say the feeling of mountain biking is physically similar to riding a roller coaster, that you're in control of where you go and what you do. And the mental feeling is the flow state that you could see a musician or an artist get into when they're performing at their best.
I first started mountain biking actually from a bet that I lost. I grew up in BMX ever since the age of 5, and I had to go to a mountain bike event, and one of my friends who I lost the bet to, he had to go to a BMX race. It was the best bet that I ever lost.
Yeah, Crankworx is just like on another level. It's some of your best mates. It's some of the best riders in the world, and not only do you have that competitive side of you where you want to beat everyone, it's also that same side of everyone's kind of inspiring you to be better as well. So it's a nice mix of both, especially in the last sort of year with the women. It's been like, I want to beat them, but they're doing so good.
I wouldn't say like I knew I wanted to be pro, but when I figured out that mountain biking was something I would like to do, I almost found home. Like it just felt right.
Sport outside of mountain biking.
Skiing.
Spring riding or alpine full-time?
Full.
Okay. Or flow?
Flow.
Pineapple on pizza?
Yeah.
Gummies. Cliff blocks. Bikes can teach you a lot.
Totally.
Yeah.
We are so proud to have Torpedo7 as a partner of Crankworx Rotorua. So I think it's fair to say, New Zealand, we'll see you out there. Now, we've got the men's side of the bracket. We're at half-time in the round of 8. Billy Meaclem is going up against Jaden Fleming. We saw him in speed and style yesterday, and it was a consummate performance. Lemoyne versus Meaclem, and that was the second run because Thomas Lemoyne went down hard, but it's not to take anything away from Billy Meaclem. I think the perfection he showed and the consistency he showed actually got inside Thomas Lemoyne's head.
Yeah, exactly, and this was Billy's breakout event in 2019, the speed and style, so it's great to see him come back and win it again.
Do you think that Billy Meaclem, it's a fair comparison to say that he's kind of New Zealand's Bas van Steenbergen with a bit of freestyle? Because he's got that all-round ability.
He does, but yeah, he's got a great style on the bike. Here they go.
Okay, he's up against Jaden Fleming, and he's got 3.5 tenths on Jaden. I love the fact that Billy's rocking the shorts as well. There's no one else out here in shorts. Ed Masters will be loving that.
Next round of racing.
Oh, and just finishing with style there.
Very, very quick. And it's interesting, if we take a look at this replay, did you spot it, Tom? Like the nose man?
Yeah, out of the slide, Billy did a nose man. See this.
Jaden so well had the back wheel down, so he actually gave a little bit. But
and you see there, Billy's nose mounting there, and then he's what he's doing with the cleats is pulling forward just to give himself a little bit more speed.
And tucking that back wheel in at the top of the transition.
Yeah, and then that back wheel is coming down and landing on the ground on the downside of the next roller, just to get him that extra speed.
Well, fantastic technique with the nose manual, and I don't think the shorts are just for style. I'd like to feel those legs. I think he might have shaved them. It's getting rid of resistance. Okay, now we've got Thomas Lemoyne going up against Lewis Hamilton. Slope versus downhill. It looks like that, but it's actually not. We know Lemoyne can do absolutely anything on a bike.
Yeah, and you can see the suspension there. He had 215 PSI in those small forks. That's really...
It's about the same kind of pressure I can generate in my bicep if I just squeeze it.
Yeah, in your dreams, Ed. But no, exactly. It's so high just because they want to get as much force straight through into the ground there.
Okay, so half a second for Lewis Hamilton to make up on this second run.
Thomas Lemoyne.
Lemoyne, that technique just bucking his way out of the start there, and already he's got a bike length.
Yeah, he got a really strong pre-hop after the spine there, Ed.
That last turn, Lewis just a little bit behind.
Working the bike so hard, Lemoyne, a masterclass there. Another half second, so it's almost a full second behind for Lewis Hamilton, who, it's really important to say here, Tom, he is no slouch on a bike.
No, Hamilton is an incredibly fast operator. Downhill is his thing, but he's also spent a lot of time at the BMX track here in Rotorua, and that was a great effort against one of the best in the game.
Yeah, and it shows, I think it illustrates just how good Thomas is, because we've gone through qualification. Lewis had a good seed there, but Lemoyne just on fire this morning. Now this one is too close to call. 3.5 hundredths of a second between Michael Bias and Bas van Steenbergen. They've swapped lanes and they're under starters orders. Bas got a tiny advantage there, maybe.
He's going to be one of King's
Bias catching another tiny gap between these two.
Last straight there at the finish is pretty close. Michael Bias, Bas van Steenbergen.
Oh, Van Steenbergen just ahead. Look at that. 0.22 between them in the end.
Yeah, and the combination of the two rounds puts Van Steenbergen ahead.
That is literally a cat's whisker between them, isn't it?
Ah, that's interesting, because Bias was on, we heard Buchanan say before, that right-hand corner on the right-hand side of the track is slightly tighter, making it a little slower.
So interesting. Baz, incredible technique scrubbing over that spine. You said that the spine's caused a few people headaches, hasn't it? Just working out how to get over something that steep.
Yeah, exactly. You saw Hastings in qualification actually go to flat off the spine. So I'm glad she's okay from that. She's looking better today.
Okay, brilliant racing. Absolutely classic pump track racing there between two incredible racers. Less than the blink of an eye between the two of them. Baz, a phenomenal performance there. You were literally bar to bar on the straight.
Yeah, that was super close. He's so fast on the straightaways. I came out of that turn and I just knew I had to give it everything I had.
Yeah, well done, Baz. You're getting through a solid week here. How is the body feeling this morning?
Not optimal, but we're getting through it.
Listen to you, you're totally out of breath. How relaxed are you about King of Crankworx? Have you done the maths on this? Have you worked out that you've got it in the bag?
Yeah, I've done the math a couple times. Yeah, stoked on that for sure.
Yes, I like this. You're claiming it already. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Baz. Good luck in the semis.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so there you have it, from the horse's mouth. He knows he's got it in the bag. The official King of Crankworx for 2021 has made it into the semi-finals of Pump Track.
Yeah, and the winner of this will go through to face Van Steenbergen, and I mean, these guys will have more than that on the line. This is a mates battle.
Yes, this one is very, very close. The two rising stars of New Zealand mountain biking. Roto Arikipene going up against Lockie Stevens McNabb. 4 years between them. Roto's just one generation ahead of Lockie. So a little bit of pride at stake for Toto.
This man can provide turns and pump tracks, so he's going to be pretty hard.
Quick.
Yeah.
Good run for his money. It's going to be...
And Hodo takes it easy.
Lockie styling it out into the finish there as well. Nice to see that.
Great work from the boys. They're going very well.
I'm getting too excited and I haven't actually looked at the times. I wanted desperately then to have Baz's time to reference against Tohoto's and to be able to see if Tohoto's actually in the same league as Baz.
Tohoto got a good pump up the spine there. His back wheel was on the wall for most of the way down. Gave him the speed away on the straight and then he was away.
Ed talked about this yesterday when we were watching the downhill, the fact that Tohoto's got that kind of style. Yes, he may not be getting those big podium results in downhill yet, but if you're a talent scout looking at his riding style, you can see that he's got that kind of Minard, Bruni style on his bike, and we see it again here.
Yeah, well, him and Keegan Wright grew up here in Rotorua against each other at BMX track, and I think the two of them have pushed each other growing up.
Okay, so there's the bracket, Meaclem Lemoyne and then Van Steenbergen against Tohoto. So two fascinating battles there. And you can see the seeding on it. Steenbergen is third. Penny's got the highest seeding. So it's definitely not done there in that bracket.
Yeah, and Bass knows he's won the overall title, but he's a competitor. He's going to want to win this thing.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, he's definitely not going to cry about it if he doesn't make it through, but he wants to go very, very hard. Talk us through bike setups, though. We touched on it with the Maxxis tyre pressure check, but how different are the bike setups here?
Yeah, well, that's the challenge of this whole week. The bikes for these tracks, they're small, they're hardtails, and everything is crank up. So they're talking tyre pressure we saw before. That's 40 PSI more than they're running in the downhill yesterday, 30, 40 PSI. Same with the fork pressure. That's going to be absolutely ramped up. And the reason for that is they wanted to transfer all the force they're generating in the downward pumps there right into the track, into momentum.
Well, talking about forks, Rockshox have developed a new system, like many systems on the bike now, a remote system for adjusting compression.
Yeah, exactly. We've got we're going to see this graphic here. It's called the Rockshox Flight Attendant, and all that does is adjust the compression on the fly. So there's two units, one on the fork, one on the rear shock, and then a battery in the bottom bracket.
And so as you're riding, you can actually change the compression to the settings that you want.
So the settings are automatically picked up in the pedal sensor in your bottom bracket there. It's really, really cool. And what that will do is feed that information via Bluetooth and the access technology there to the fork and to the shock.
Wait a second, so I don't actually need to know what compression setting I need. The pedals are going to tell the fork what it should be setting.
Yeah, exactly. And also the movement of the bike. There's a sensor in there that captures all that information, and it will know if you're trying to pedal up the hill rapidly, Ed, like you would be, or if you're descending.
No, you don't know me that well, Tom. I'm definitely not a climber. I mean, to me, that sounds incredible because I've got to say I'm a complete novice when it comes to setting up my suspension. I'm literally just like, that should be right, that'd be awesome. I'll run what I brung.
Yeah, exactly. This is really cool to see because it's automatically adjusting. In there's a little mechanism literally turning the compression dials for you as you ride.
I'm properly interested in this now. Yeah. Do you have to use it though? Or if the battery runs out, can you do it manually?
You can press the buttons manually, yeah. Charlie Murray's been running this on the EWS all year and yeah, he sees it, he loves it.
Okay, I'm fantastically bad at charging batteries, so I'd need to have the manual setting as well. Right, back into the Rockshox Pump Track Challenge, presented by Torpedo7. These are the semi-final matchups. We've got Keilani Hines, #1 seed, going up against Shania Rawson. So what's lovely about this, the seeds have shone through, and then we've got Jenna Hastings, #3 seed, going up against Caroline Buchanan, #2 seed. That is actually, I'm really interested in semi-final #2 there, because that is very, very close, but two very different riders in terms of where they're at in their career.
Exactly, and Jenna Hastings, the hometown hero.
Then we've got Shania Rawson. I mean, second in 2019, fourth last year. She's always good at this. She's got that BMX background. I think she had a couple of national titles as a kid.
Yeah, and she's also got the downhill background as well. She's got second at Junior World Champs in Cairns, so yeah, she can ride all types of bike.
Okay, in the start gate, Keilani Hines and Shania Rawson under starters orders. Keilani with a very quick start there. Shania can see what she's got to do, and she actually made a little bit of ground on the end of the straight there.
It looked like Keilani went a little deep off the wall there.
But look at Keilani's elbows working so fast.
Yeah. What a performance there. That was technically brilliant on the way back up the course from Kealani there.
It's a game of two halves, isn't it? You've got the technical brilliance, the timing and the bike handling to work with, but then you've got to have the power physically to feed through the bike to generate that speed.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a really short track, Ed, but as you heard before, Van Steenbergen was mouth breathing after 20 seconds of work, and you can see they're just driving so hard. Kealani's elbows there.
It's like doing 50 press-ups at speed, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And squats and deadlifts at the same time.
Yeah, okay. Squat thrusts. It's my own personal nemesis from school PE lessons.
Oh, that's nice from Hines, just doubling it over the last two rollers on the straight.
Very, very clean technique from the #1 seed. She's stretched out a bit of a gap there. Yeah. Shania Rawson will be hunting her down in the second race.
Here we go, Ed.
Oh, age versus experience. 17-year-old Jenna Hastings going up against 31-year-old Caroline Buchanan. First run. Jenna sits down. She was up and ready. Pressure on the gate. Look at that. Steely stare from the 17-year-old. Goggles on Caroline. She's giving nothing away. Start sequence initiated. Oh, Jenna Hastings with a really good start. She's got it. Oh, the 17-year-old, you can hear everyone cheering her on. The locals here in Rotorua. Can Buchanan get the afterburners on now? Yes, she can. Hastings swaying a little bit, but Buchanan makes it through. Just 1.9194 seconds ahead. Fantastic race there, Tom.
Yeah, and Hastings is going to go back onto that faster left-hand side of the course for round 2. This is going to be awesome.
So quick. Brilliant start from Hastings, and she managed to generate plenty of speed. She got the better of Buchanan, but what happens now on the inside of the berm?
You can see Buchanan. She got to really rocket it out of that left-hand corner. She just took it a little higher than Hastings did. Maintained a little bit more speed.
And Hastings' line exactly through this section. She starts drifting over just a tiny bit. Not that far away from Buchanan there.
That was elbow-to-elbow stuff.
Oh, what a race!
Great from Jenna to take it to the veteran.
#2 and #3 seed showing just how close it is between them. Caroline Buchanan doing a decent Darth Vader impression there. The disruptor, we called her at the start of the week, and she's certainly enjoying herself. She's got no skin in the Queen of Crankworx game, so she's just here to go as fast as she can and mess up everyone else's plans. Right, now on to the men's side of the draw. It is the final of speed and style repeated. Will Le Mans get revenge, or can Meaclem make it 2 from 2? It's the first round of the semi-finals. Billy Meaclem in shorts, and we can see confirmation he hasn't shaved his legs for aerodynamics there. Thomas Lemoyne, so good at pump track. Oh, scrap from Meaclem and the nose manual again. Neck and neck, nothing to choose between them. Meaclem dives in. He's slightly ahead of Lemoyne. Lemoyne is in his tailwind. Yes!
Oh, Meaclem's done really well there. 0.12.
What a race. Another breathtakingly close matchup.
That was beautiful from Meaclem out of the gate.
So good. These are fantastic races here at Pump Track. Look at that is not a big spine, and Meaclem has got the bike laid right over.
And then again, you see he's doing the nose manual again to pull himself forward, whereas Lemoyne was jumping into that downslope.
And we heard it yesterday. Lemoyne is so calculated, so focused in his approach into how he races. Oh, a little bit of a
little slide
tail
there. Lemoyne did bring it back, and that's why.
Billy Meaclem channeling his inner Fast and Furious there, letting the back end hang out. Look at that.
Look at those eyes.
They'll be able to hear each other panting down that finish straight. Oh, Billy Meaclem. It's a difficult position. He knows that this is the halfway point. Billy, difficult to keep your excitement under wraps, I imagine, because this is only the halfway point, but that's a decent start.
Oh yeah, we're still in the thick of it.
But I mean, there's pride at stake for Thomas. He's gonna want this one.
Yeah, for sure. This is his event.
Billy, talk us through that run. There was a little slide on that second straight there. What happened?
Nothing really. I think I'm kind of doing that every lap, just going all at it, give it everything.
What about the decision to ride shorts this morning? That's a big move.
Yeah, well, the sun's out. Let's make the most of it.
And then in terms of the track, Tom asked Caroline about this earlier on. Is there any noticeable difference between the right and the left?
Yeah, I feel like the right's a little slower. The first turn's a lot tighter, so you can't hit it as hot, but yeah, we'll see. The most important part is just getting that stall wall off the start, catching it as high as possible and carrying your speed.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much, Billy.
Cheers.
Now, that'll be interesting to find out whether or not that's a little mind game there. He's just said the track that he raced was the slower one. There's Billy's mum giving us a big wave. Look at that. Bas van Steenbergen.
Yeah.
Going toe-to-toe now.
And you can see he's got 55 and 65 PSI in there, Ed. That's a lot compared to what he was running on the downhill yesterday.
100%. Yeah, those cush cores let you get right down to the low 20s. But actually, Bas van Steenbergen, the 3rd seed. Toto Arikipene is the number 2 seed. So let's see how this goes. Billy Meaclem saying that right-hand track that Bas van Steenbergen is in is the slower one. Toto he's got a good start there. The New Zealander taking it to the king of Crankworx right now.
Toto was nearly perfect over that wall.
Oh, but very tight. Van Steenbergen's back on the finish straight. Very, very quick through the second half of that course as they both struggled to stop from the speed they've generated. Van Steenbergen, the king, returns. 0.3 of a second ahead, and from where, if you'd have looked at that midway through the first straight.
Yeah, it'd be good to see what happened on that last left berm, but look at Rotorua pumped so strong off the wall.
What's he going to do? We know Baz is strong in the second half.
Yeah, you see, Rotorua got caught up in that last left-hand corner, which let Baz come back.
Just dived a little bit, didn't he? Lost his speed on the exit.
Yeah, as he was pumping in that left-hand corner, it goes there, whereas Baz is just so dialed through here.
Oh, so if what Billy has told us is true, if this right-hand course is ever so slightly slower with a tighter entry turn, then Toto has got his work cut out. Oh, that was the turn. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, here comes a mistake here. Just slid as he went to pump in that corner there, and there it was.
A little bit of oversteer, wasn't it?
Actually, you're like, I was on my seat, I was like,
Can hear him sharing a joke down there.
He's here Toto there saying he was pretty much on his seat sitting down through there.
So a place in the finals at stake. Heading back up to the top now. It is the women's semi-final, second run. And it's Keilani Hines versus Shania Rawson. Rawson got nearly 0.6 of a second to make up from the American. And Hines already out in the lead.
Shaniqua out on full and Ketchup. Shaniqua on the white course there, looking pretty close here. It's going to be
diving, but it's a procession now. Keilani Hines making that one pay. Very, very strong ride from her.
Yeah, like Billy said, as soon as it's over that wall, it's nearly all over. And Keilani came out really strong there. Great ride from Shania, though. Trying to give it to these overseas talents coming over.
Yeah. Well, she's made top 4 again. She's got the bronze medal matchup where she can try and make it 2 podiums in 2 days after a second in downhill. So Keilani Hines definitely looking like the favourite, living up to the hype today in the Rockshox Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo7. Now it's the second of the semi-finals, and this one is very, very close. Just 0.194 between Jenna Hastings and Caroline Buchanan. Hastings has got the pace, and according to Billy Meaclem, she's on the faster side of the course. Under starters orders.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
Jenna Hastings again, very, very quick out of the gate. But Buchanan came from behind last time. Absolutely nothing to choose between them into that first turn. Oh, it's so tight. She needs a little more. Buchanan just doing enough, I think, there. 0.03 of a second between them, and it's not enough for Jenna Hastings. She is 0.2 back. But the 17-year-old has given such a good account of herself there. She went up against one of the apex predators of pump track racing at Crankworx, and she has done very, very well. She can be very proud of that, Tom.
Oh, that is fantastic from Jenna, taking it on, and she nearly came back. It was fantastic to see, but Caroline, that right-hand corner there is what you said. That's tighter than the left-hand side, just a little bit, but you know, she really delivered on it.
You get the feeling it's almost body language from Caroline at that point of the race. As she comes onto the straight, it's like Caroline loves the fact she's got someone there. It's like a target as you come out there bar to bar, and Caroline's like, I've got this.
Well, yeah, and Caroline's a five-time four-cross world champion, so she loves...
Three-time BMX world champion.
Yeah, loves the elbow-to-elbow stuff, so...
Yeah, and she's, I mean, double Olympian. She did London and Rio. She knows what it takes.
So it's awesome for Jenna to get a chance to take it to the best in the business.
Yeah, it speaks volumes about what kind of talent we've got on our hands in Jenna Hastings. Absolutely phenomenal. So confirmation of these final matchups. It goes to seed. We have 1 and 2 facing off in the finals. Hines versus Buchanan. And then we've got Shania Rawson and Jenna Hastings in an all New Zealand battle for the bronze medal. Woo! Take a breath, Tom.
That was awesome. Now, round 2 of the men.
Oh, I love this. I love the fact we got Thomas Lemoyne here, who's got all of his pride at stake from speed and style yesterday, going up against Billy Meaclem. And at the moment, Billy Meaclem is in the driving seat.
Exactly. He's got the advantage on Lemoyne. Look at the focus there.
Lemoyne wants this. Not much between them. Under starters orders. It's 0.192 for Lemoyne to make up. But already Billy...
Oh, great jump over the wall.
He's got that beautiful start technique.
And Thomas Lemoyne's looking pretty quick down that front straight as they come around the last...
Billy's out in front. It's more than a bike length.
He's going to make it.
Oh, and a little bit of moto-style whip over the last jump from Billy. Doing it in style. He's taken Lemoyne to town. 2 races in a row. Speed and style and then pump track. I think it's fair to say that Billy Meaclem has got well and truly into Lemoyne's head.
Oh, congrats to Billy. That is awesome. That was a massive performance and celebrating in style over that last one. But again, like he said, he's pumped already before Lemoyne's hit the ground.
You can't underestimate just how big this is. Lemoyne is an incredible all-round rider. His results speak for themselves. He was unbeaten in 4 events at Speed and Style, and he's been dominating pump track for the last 4 or 5 years. He's been a strong player, so Billy, it feels like he's really coming into his own here.
Oh, Billy just doesn't let that phase him. Look at him just celebrating.
To have time to be able to do that over that finish jump. Very, very impressive. Thomas Lemoyne back to the drawing board for the Frenchman. He's got to work out how to reel in Billy Meaclem. But no rest for the wicked or the fast. Ricky Penne going up against the king of Crankworx, Baz van Steenbergen. Yes, he's taken out that title in 2021, but there's still a fair bit of racing to do here in Rotorua. 0.3 of a second to make up for the New Zealand up. And again, he's very, very quick out of the start.
Yeah, remember last round, Tohoto made that mistake.
He's not going to make it 2 races in a row. Oh, and he's got the distance, but is it enough?
Looking pretty close this time.
Oh, not quite. He'll be less than 0.07 of a second out. Brilliant racing. Absolutely classic racing here at Crankworx.
Bass advances, but they are making him work for it. Those were 2 tight rounds for Bass.
Absolutely phenomenal. Tohoto, if he hadn't made the mistake in the first race, that would have been his, but he will learn from that one. And again, we saw it in downhill. It was a valiant performance. We saw his courage laid bare, and he's done it again here. He's dug so deep.
And that's what Tohoto does best. He just goes out and gives it his all. Yeah.
So, beautiful performance from the New Zealander, but it's not enough to reel in Bas van Steenbergen. And it's interesting, isn't it? Bas has to fight down there. We can catch up with Todo now, though. Phenomenal performance for you, Todo. And 0.07 of a second between the two of you there.
Yeah.
Racing doesn't get any closer than that. Did you think that you might have done enough? Did you get your hopes up?
Oh, no, I knew I was way back, but yeah, I thought I could just push hard.
We didn't get to talk to you yesterday after the downhill. How's the week been? That was incredible yesterday.
Thank you very much. No, I was happy with that, eh? It's all good.
Tohono, congrats, bro. That was an awesome effort. Talk us through what happened on that left-hand berm in that first round.
Oh, the legs gave out, eh? That's it. Too tired.
Well, man, you're still giving it your all. That's awesome. Like you did in that run in the rain yesterday, man. Congrats.
Cheers, bro. Thank you.
You've got dual slalom later on this afternoon. No strategy for that?
Just ride, eh? Have fun. Same as these races. Just enjoy it, yeah. See what happens.
Awesome. Lovely to see you out there racing.
Thank you, bro.
Okay, so there we have it. That is confirmation of the final matchups. I'm actually looking forward to that bronze medal round. Thomas Lemoyne versus Toto. That'll be very, very close. And then Meaclem versus Van Steenbergen. I think Billy's on the charge right now.
Oh, Billy's just on a fly, and he's just into it, and he's having fun, like Tohono is. Tohono's got pace. He was pretty understated there. Like, that was a big mistake on that left-hand corner.
Yeah. Definitely, yeah, without that mistake, he would have been facing off against Billy Meaclem. Now we cut across to the women, and we've got it, as we said earlier, it's gone to seeding positions. Keilani Hines and Caroline Buchanan. I feel like there's momentum with Keilani here, but Caroline has had to fight a little bit harder, and sometimes that fight, that friction that you get, does bring out the best in a racer.
Exactly, and this is third and fourth.
Yeah, we'll see classification for that final step on the podium. The two Kiwis, Shania Rawson closest to camera, Jenna Hastings, 17-year-old winner of downhill yesterday. Look at the start on Jenna Hastings again. Shania's got some work to do now. Jenna taking a look across the track there as she came out the first berm. Shania's made up a bit of ground, but it's Jenna Hastings on this first race, manages to put almost 0.3 of a second on Shania Rawson.
And that was a great start from Jenna. She had it out of the gate. Brilliant snapper, good to see her.
Yeah, she had that the whole way. She had the better of Caroline Buchanan. So the start, definitely a strong point for Jenna Hastings. Let's watch this technique.
You see, out the gate, she's got a good lunge right away. You see already, whereas Shania's pulling her wheel up. And already she's got a bike length on her before the first roller.
Yeah, she's got that front wheel up and over the first bump. And a little bit of a scrub there. And then Shania does some great work through the turns here. Dipping low.
Again, you can see eyes up, kids at home watching that. It goes for when you're beginning or when you're at the top level like this, look where you're wanting to go.
Yeah. You'll see that it's a great sign of confidence, isn't it? The further ahead people are looking, the more confidence they've got. Jenna Hastings, she's got that slight look of confusion about her sometimes, I think, when she's like, oh my God, I'm actually doing this, I'm winning.
It's been a big week. You can hear them working so hard.
Yeah, well, under 19 national champ, not even national champion, she's come to Crankworx and cleaned up at downhill. Okay, bronze medal round in the men's now. I'm really looking forward to this one. Lemoyne versus Penne, and they're out of the gates already, nice and early.
Penne's got a great start.
Very, very strong.
There we go, gets that corner better this time.
Oh, and Lemoyne refusing to be taken to school by two Kiwis in a row. He's not going down without a fight. I've got to say, a little unfair potentially on Penne. He'd literally just finished the last race. So
he was still catching his breath, but Lemoyne was dominant then. He was looking really, really good.
Yeah. I think Lemoyne's pride drove him through this one because Penne had a great start.
But yeah, it's interesting, Lemoyne had to come from the back. He got a worse start than Tohono, but then look at this, just railing that tighter right-hand corner.
It is beautiful timing, isn't it? Working every single bump there. Get a glimpse of the fanny pack on the back of Thomas's pants there as well. So, double shaka from Thomas Lemoyne finally gets to celebrate a win. Now we're going into the first of 2 final races. We have the women hitting up first. Number 1 seed, Keilani Hines on the left-hand side. Caroline Buchanan, number 2 seed on the right. Hines has had it all her own way. She's won every single race to get here. Buchanan has had a much harder bracket. Jenna Hastings pushing her all the way in the semi-finals. And they're off.
Even started.
Very, very close. Nothing to choose between them. Buchanan getting a slight lead there.
Pretty close. Who's going to be the one carrying the momentum?
It's all going to come out. Buchanan's got some work to do.
Keilani Hines with half a bike's length there as they come over the finish line.
Great ride from Keilani.
Yeah, very, very strong ride, considering that in each race, Buchanan has come back. The second half of the track, she's owned. But Keilani keeping the pace on. Brilliant racing here, so close, nothing to choose. In fact, Keilani maybe just a touch behind as they went into that first berm.
Keilani had a really strong
back
second straight, yeah.
Look at that. They would have been able to hear each other panting down here.
Slightly different there. Keilani doubling that last roller there, perhaps sitting up there.
And you can't underestimate just how much of an effect the pressure can have on you.
But there
when
we go.
You can hear someone.
There it is there. It slipped from Buchanan out of that left-hand corner, and that's where it was.
Tiny little mistake, and it let Hines get away. So, game of catch-up in the second race of the finals. So, back up to the top now, and we have the first race in the men's final. Tiki's looking down menacingly on this start gate and the spine. On the left-hand side is Billy Meaclem. Vanquished Thomas Lemoyne in the Speed and Style finals yesterday. Can he do the same to the king of Crankworx in 2021, Bas van Steenbergen? Certainly in terms of time and pedigree, today it looks like Billy Meaclem might have the edge. But it looks like Bas van Steenbergen, a tiny lead there. The nose manual from Billy Meaclem to get into that berm and generate speed. Meaclem looking good. Neck and neck, Meaclem comes out just in front. You can hear the New Zealand crowd getting behind him. And Billy Meaclem makes it just over 1/10 of a second lead in this first race.
That was huge from Meaclem down there, rider's right-hand track. He was behind off the wall.
That was phenomenal, wasn't he? He had it all to do.
We both had pretty good laps that time.
Bas van Steenbergen, the mild-mannered Dutch-Canadian-American. Just saying, we both had pretty good lap times that time.
And Bas has the experience out of the start gates themselves. He's done so many of these. But Meaclem absolutely hammered low in that right-hand corner there.
All of the
really
work
hard.
done by Billy in the berms, wasn't it? Because it's actually a decent lead. When we're talking about two riders who are this close, this quick, if you've got a front wheel distance, if you've got a nose out in front, then it's good. And that's exactly what Bas had, but perfect technique here.
Yeah, and I talked to Billy before. He said that side of the course he's on now is slower.
Okay, well, he's looking ever so slightly I'd say there's a confident smile on Billy Meaclem's face.
Well, this is what Bas lives for.
Yep.
He loves it.
I think if that right-hand side is slightly quicker, slower, then it's only a tiny bit. Back to the top, bronze medal round again. This New Zealand battle. It's a step on the podium, and both Jenna and Shania will fight tooth and nail for this one. Such quick starts. Jenna Hastings was faster than Caroline Buchanan on those starts, and she's done it again. Shania with the work to do in the berms.
Bike length already off that first straight from Jenna, but Shania's bringing it back.
But still Jenna in front of bike length as they come down. 2 wins from 2. It means that Jenna Hastings has a first in downhill and a third in pump track now. Incredible performance from the 17-year-old.
That's huge from Jenna. It's massive.
the start is devastating. It's a bit like the serve in tennis, isn't it, or the drive in golf. You've really got yourself, you've got yourself ahead of the game.
Exactly, and then she's coming off really well into that first straight, just pulling and dropping into the first roller and she's away.
So great performance all the way through from Jenna Hastings. So we can talk to Jenna now. We've got the headset on her down in the finish area. Jenna, you're a little bit out of breath there. We can hear you panting into the microphone. 2 podiums at your first ever Crankworx in the elites. Phenomenal performance.
Yeah, thank you. Pretty stoked, to be honest. Yeah, didn't think this was going to happen, but it has.
And your start, I don't know if you had a chance to watch the replays, but your start all the way through has paid huge dividends. You had the better of Caroline on the starts.
Yeah, guess BMX gates and just practicing them a bit really helped.
Yeah, congrats, Jenna. You've had an amazing week. We saw you in practice here go pretty huge off that wall. Talk us through, you're looking great on it now. How's that been, overcoming that?
I was just breaking a bit into it after nearly sending it into the corner next to it. I decided just to tone it down a little bit.
And you've got duel this afternoon. You excited for that, or are you feeling the fatigue now?
Feeling a little bit tired, but yeah, excited for that.
Okay, good luck this afternoon. Thank you for today.
Thank you.
17 years old. She's not allowed to feel tired. Just fill her up with some food. She'll be good to go again. Right, back up to the top. And we've got Penny versus Le Mans. This one just 0.2 seconds behind. The New Zealander's got the crowd on his side, but Le Mans again looking for redemption. Billy Meaclem's had the best of him. 2 events in a row, so he's going to be looking for at least 1 spot on the podium.
That looks like it's going to work for him. He's just got to hold momentum through the rest of the course.
Penny dives into that turn, and he has got the lead. Oh! He's overcooked it massively. Le Mans going to take it. What happened there, Tom?
Oh, he's just giving it his all. And you can see he just lost the front. It'd be good to see a replay of that, but good on him. That's what Tohono does, is just give it everything.
Yeah, we saw it yesterday in downhill. He risked it all, but yeah, he was way out in front, but he was just trying to drive too much force through that front wheel.
He had a really good start. He was ahead and just pushing as hard as he could.
What? I got rolled, yeah.
Here we go, let's take a look at the replay. On the aired in, he wasn't able to get the contact. And a little bit of Reese Wilson, like the Superman out the front door there.
It was a little too deep, and he was too far forward when he then his front wheel hit that next roller, so he just got sent over the front.
The flying Kiwi joins the flying Scotsman. Look at that fantastic performance and a great save. You've got to give it to him. Popped out the front door. We go down and speak to Thomas Lemoyne now. Thomas, a bit of redemption there for you.
Yeah, I had no expectation for today. I was just like feeling good in the morning and just try to do my best all day. Billy was very fast. I'm happy with the third today.
It feels a little like you've got yourself a new nemesis in the shape of Billy Meaclem.
Yeah, I just do my best, man. My knee is feeling better, but I couldn't do better, man. Everything I had, I gave it.
Talk us through that, because, I mean, the performances, you can't see it in the way that you're riding, but you came into Crankworx carrying an injury.
Yeah, I've got a meniscus surgery like a month ago. So the first day when I took the plane before MIQ, I couldn't even walk properly. So I worked a little bit in MIQ and felt better every day. So I'm pretty happy for this week and be able to ride and perform as much as I can. So this is just bonus every day, man.
Congratulations. Phenomenal performances considering that you were out of surgery a month ago.
Thank you.
Okay, back up to the top now. That is ridiculous, isn't it? We can take a little look back at run one, though, now. Replay of Caroline and Kielani, number 1 and number 2 seed. A reminder of what's at stake here. Great start from Caroline. And she took an almost imperceptible lead. They're neck and neck, but she did have a little bit of the advantage. And a small mistake, Tom.
Exactly, and Caroline made that little mistake on that back straight there. So just wash the front a tiny bit, but just enough to slow her down and lose that rhythm.
I think Caroline can take heart in that, though, and know that if she gets this right without a mistake, she has got the better of Keelani.
Exactly, I think so too. That's it.
Okay, second and final run on the Rockshox Pump Track presented by Torpedo7 between the #1 and #2 seed. Caroline Buchanan closest to the camera. Keelani Hines with the green stripe. Buchanan is out. Very, very quick there. She's already got a little nose in front.
And she only needs 0.1.
Okay, into the burns now. No mistakes for Buchanan. She needs to be clean here. She has got an advantage, but is it enough? Keelani Hines fighting tooth and nail, clawing at Caroline Buchanan as they came into the finish there. So close. Wow, Caroline Buchanan somehow manages to haul that back. 1900ths of a second. And she is, you heard her say, oh, I won.
It's that close, I don't even know. Huge congratulations to Buchanan.
Wow, we called Caroline Buchanan the disruptor. And Keelani Hines in the hunt for the Queen of Crankworx title there. That's cost her 20 points.
Yeah, it's only going to, Keelani's only get 80 points out of that.
Fire for Beak will have enjoyed watching that one. She would have been cheering for Buchanan, trying to keep that differential down between her and Keelani. Neck and neck down this straight. Keelani working so hard there. But phenomenal. We cannot take anything away from Caroline Buchanan. She came in a couple of tenths back and gave it absolutely everything she had there.
Yeah, just calm and composed after that first run slip up to deliver with 0.01. Fantastic.
And let's not forget, she over-rotated a backflip to her knees yesterday, ejected the bike into Fire for Beak's lid. Absolutely phenomenal performance. Go down to the finish area now. Look at that.
Look how tight that is. Not even a bike length in it.
We can go down to the finish area. Caroline, it looked like you surprised even yourself there.
Oh yeah, well, you know, after yesterday I woke up this morning and the body was feeling it a little bit. Had an awesome night's sleep at the Millennium, just rested up, and grateful that I'm fit, healthy, and I can rebound for days like today to come through and deliver.
Caroline, congratulations. That was a huge second run after that little bobble in the first run. Talk us through what happened in that first lap.
Yeah, to be honest, I think I just relaxed in the turn too much and legs buckled a bit. So just told myself to sort of stay strong and fight through it. And yeah, really stoked to go back up against these girls. They're amazing competition. On the podium, you know, she's like 17 years old. The future is so strong in the sport, and I'm just so glad to be here and yeah, get a win.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Caroline.
Thank you.
Okay, let's take a look at that. Caroline Buchanan, winner of the 2021 Crankworx Rotorua Pump Track Challenge, presented by Torpedo7. Those Rockshox doing their work.
Exactly, Ed. But just, I don't know, that's the years of experience paying off there. She had a huge crash yesterday, and to come back, bring it back right at the end of round 2. It's perfect.
Okay, now we've got Bas van Steenbergen, the Canadian. He managed to get a little bit of distance here. Fantastically close race. The start worked for him, but you see Billy just working that back straight. It was phenomenal, wasn't it?
Yeah, Bas had the start on him, but then Billy can just bring it back, and again, I'm looking forward to seeing how fast he can go on this possibly slightly faster left-hand side of the course for him.
Okay, Billy Meaclem with the momentum of a southbound freight train. He's taking on the 2021 King of Crankworx, Bas van Steenbergen. But Billy Meaclem cleaned up in speed and style yesterday, second in the whip-off. He had a decent time in the downhill as well. Let's see what he's got. Can he overhaul Bas van Steenbergen in the Rockshox Pump Track Challenge? Very, very close.
Dead even.
Good start. That nose manual so unique for Billy Meaclem.
Are they going to hopefully looking pretty clean as they come?
Oh, so much pressure in the turn. Bas van Steenbergen.
He only needs 0.1 in.
Oh!
I think.
There he goes, Bas van Steenbergen. Where did he pull that speed from? He is a wizard. An absolute wizard on a bike. He had no business doing that. Billy Meaclem maybe resting on his laurels slightly there. Did he think he had that one?
I don't know. Bess lives for this. Bess works so hard for that.
Absolutely phenomenal ride. Baz van Steenbergen chucking the afterburners on here, generating a phenomenal amount of speed. Perfect timing.
Yeah, they were dead even into that first corner. It's Bess absolutely hauling back on this back straight this way.
The Canadian tapped down manual through that last little dip.
And you see Bess hit that corner so well that he managed to pop and get the pump out of it as well.
He used the corner of the berm, didn't he? Truly phenomenal. Manual over the line. We can go down to the finish area with Baz now. I've got to say, Baz, that was a performance worthy of the King of Crankworx.
Thank you. Yeah, that was pretty fun. Billy and I both had pretty solid runs, both heats, and yeah, that one feels good.
Baz, congratulations. It's been a huge week, but you really railed that last right-hand corner. Talk us through what's going on in your mind and body at the end of that lap.
Yeah, I was actually I figured it was going to take all I had to beat Billy on that one. He's flying, so that doesn't always work out. I just kind of threw caution to the wind a little bit and just went as fast as I could, and somehow worked.
The events keep coming thick and fast. You got Duel this afternoon. You looking forward to that one?
Yeah, I'm super stoked for that one. The track here is so good. Yeah, can't wait.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Baz. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow, what a race. It looked like it was going to be the fairy tale finish. 2 wins for Billy Meaclem from Speed and Style and Pump Track Challenge. But Baz van Steenbergen, as he so often does, finds a way to win.
Yeah, I mean, he's done this time and time again, and that's why he's King of Crankworx. It's going to be.
I mean, you look at Crankworx and the spectrum of events that we've got here. You look down, you can see the drop into the whip off there. You can see the end of Speed and Style. You can see the pump track. And Baz can ride all of it. Look at this. Look at the points now. 400 points between him and Jackson Froome.
Yeah, and what we don't see on the broadcast is the training and the qualifications and dealing with the weather. I don't think Baz has sat down for any day since Tuesday.
Yeah, and it's not like he has obviously got a support team, but him and Via, let's not forget that we're almost looking at our first ever kind of couples King and Queen of Crankworx, legitimately King and Queen. We can look at the Queen's leaderboard now because Via Verbeek very much in the driving seat. But after those women's results, you can see Keilani Hines has climbed up into 3rd over Casey Brown. But obviously Caroline Buchanan, the winner, has prevented Harriet Burbage-Smith and Keilani Hines from hauling in the 100 points. So I think Via Verbeek now is maybe, with dual slalom left to go, I think she's starting to get confident.
She's pretty confident, but the dual slalom, but Harriet, Keilani and Casey are all racing this afternoon, so it is all on for that 2nd place.
I'm not gonna big myself up as a mathematician, but there's 186 points there. I think unofficially, Via will know that she's got this one.
I think we can say that. Ed. But yeah, again, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Let's not do the maths right now, but it's all come down there. Harriet did so well at Speed and Style yesterday, winning that to put her into 2nd now.
Okay, we've got the schedule now. You can see this afternoon between 5:30 and 7 p.m. local time, we're going to have the specialised dual slalom. And then we rescheduled it from today because conditions are perfect tomorrow for the Maxis slopestyle in memory of Magaza. And don't forget, if you're passionate about your slope, if you want to get involved, if you want to take a little punt on who you think is going to win, you can get stuck in to the Podium Predictor. So you can do this with your mates. You can follow predictions from some of the experts. You can obviously create communities on social with your friends and go up against each other. Tom, I'm going to put you on the spot. I don't think slopes that hard at the moment. If I didn't ask you to put them in order of 1st, 2nd, 3rd, I think you could probably pick them out. Could you?
1st, 2nd, and 3rd?
Yeah.
If we didn't have to put an order on them, we've got to put Emil in there.
Yeah, Emil, I'd go Emil number 1. I'm happily doing that.
Nikolai's feeling good.
Yep.
And then you've always got to put Eric Figko in the mix.
The momentum of the German at the moment, I think that's in there. I think Nikolai They haven't had much practice because of weather this week, and I think Nikolai's enlarged courage gland is always going to pay off in that situation. What a morning of racing. Tom and I are going to sit down and take a breath. Thank you for joining us for the Rockshox Pump Track Challenge presented by Torpedo7. I think you'll agree, a dramatic morning of racing. We'll see you this afternoon for dual slalom.
My skills pay me. Trying to get a million, baby, with an adopted flow that God gave me. Tell whoever runners that they spot is temporary till I take it as mine. I'm selfish. Yo, will tell Miss I'm on my wealth tip. So when we cash out soon, I'm just investing. No yes men. I've been a legend since before mom and dad had me and was best friends. I true to comp, don't test them. I shoot on tracks, cause after that I bless them. I just do what I do.